All right, this one's a typical problem in that it's in quadratic form. People don't notice that it's in quadratic form, but it is because I have this exponent is double this exponent. So basically I'm solving this not for x, I'm solving it for e to x. But I can use the calculator mode 5-3 function. So I'm going to hit mode 5-3. And the number that's in front of this is 1. The number that's in front of this e to the x is negative 8. And then the c term would be 15. Now I'm going to hit equals, and I get 5 and 3. So e to the x equals 5, and e to the x equals 3. Then when I solve this for x, I put ln in front of both of these, and that would give me ln 5 and ln 3. Now first off, it could never be ln of negative 5 and ln of negative 3. So I had a toss-up for the 5 and 3, but it's going to be the ln version. For this one, I'm just going to do log base 2 of 23 equals x. So this is just a basic calculator key, and we're going to hit the wonderful button, mode 1, log base 2 of 23. So right arrow 23. So it's 4.5236, 4.524. It's going to be that choice there. So again, I want to use the log base, so I'm going to write down log base 3 of 24, but it equals the entire exponent, not x. So it's going to equal 3x minus 3. So I'm going to type this in, log base 3 of 24. I'm going to hit equals. So it gives me this big decimal, but that equals 3x minus 3. So equals 3x, equals 2.89. 2.89. And then I'm going to add 3 to it, plus 3. So that's 3x equals 5.89, and then I'm going to divide that by 3. And that's 1.96, and you can see it's choice B. Another way to do this is to type it in exactly like it looks again. So we're going to try that route. We're going to type it in 3, x box, parentheses, 3, alpha red x, minus 3, close parentheses, right arrow, alpha red equals 24, and then I'm going to hit shift solve, remember, shift solve. And it's asking me to guess, and I'm going to guess 1.9, because I know the answer. 1.9642638, and there it is. It did it for me. So either way is good. For this one, I'm actually going to use the calculator the whole way. I don't even want to begin to do this one by hand. So I'm going to type it in, 7, x box, 3, alpha red x, right arrow. Alpha red equals 8, x box, parentheses, alpha red x, plus 1, close parentheses. Now I'm going to hit shift solve. I'm going to hit shift solve. Shift solve. Now it wants me to guess. I don't want to guess the negative one. I want to guess 1.069 because it's between 0.5 and 2. So I'm going to guess the 1.069. 1.069. So I type that in, and now I'm going to hit equals. Now I'm going to hit equals and see how long it takes. Oh, it takes a while sometimes. It isn't 1.069 because otherwise it would have given it to me a lot quicker. Oh, 0.553. So notice, it gave me the correct answer. This one's kind of tricky, number 31, but we can test it in the calculator. Our answer is either going to be 4 or 1024, so I'm going to try 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in 4 for the B, x box to the 2/5, and see what it gives me. It does not give me 16. So, that being said, I'm going to try 1024 now. 1024, x box to the 2/5. Oh, that gives me 16. Not done. It might be positive and negative. So I'm going to hit parentheses, negative 1024, close parentheses, x box to the 2/5. Now, if I get a domain error, it's choice C. If I get 16, it's going to be choice A. It's going to be both choices work. I usually get that one wrong because I choose this one instead of the actual one. It's both answers. It's not always both answers. I'm just going to let the calculator do this one again. I'm just going to let the calculator do the whole thing. So I'm going to type it in like it looks. 2, x box, parentheses, 5 plus 3, alpha red x, close parentheses, right arrow, alpha red equals fraction bar 1 over 16. Shift, solve. They want me to guess. I don't know. I'm going to guess 3. It's taken a while, so it wasn't 3. It's -3. It's -3. See, that says x equals -3, and it has to have L minus R equals 0. So this one was -3. Solving this one. Oh, these are both base 2. These are both base 2. I'm going to try it on the calculator. 64, X box, alpha red X, -1, right arrow, alpha red equals, 16, X box, 3, alpha red X, shift solve. I'm going to type in -6 for my guess.
All right, this is scary. It says continue. And it doesn't give me left, right equals 0. It gives me left, right equals 9. -15 is not a choice. I'm going to back arrow. I'm going to hit shift solve. And now, instead of guessing -6, I'm going to guess -0.5. -0.5. And see if that crunches it any quicker.
When I typed in -0.5, when I typed in -6, it didn't give me the correct answer. Then my next guess was -0.5, and it took a few seconds, but it kicked out -1. So the answer is -1. You have to be patient. You have to be patient if you don't want to do it by hand.
The way to do this by hand is to run the table of 2s. To the first, to the second, to the third, to the fourth, to the fifth, to the sixth. So to the first is 2, to the second is 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. So I'd rewrite 64 as 2 to the sixth. But I would have to put in x minus 1 equals 16. I would have to rewrite the 16 as 2 to the fourth. But I have to bring over the 3x. Now, once I'm there, I can do this inappropriate mathematical move of ignoring the bases, and that would give me 6x minus 6 equals 12x. Subtract 6x from both sides, -6 equals 6x, divide both sides by 6, and that gives me the -1.
This one is another one I'm going to use the calculator to test. So recall, sometimes it's both answers. Sometimes it's just one. So I'm going to type in 2 to the 3/5 and see if it equals 8. 2, x box, to the 3 divided by 5. It does not equal 8. So now I'm going to go back and try 32. That equals 8. Now I have to be sure and try -32. Now, you can't just put the negative in front. You have to wrap it. You have to be careful. You have to wrap it. That equals -8. So it's just 32. Let me go back and change that negative to just a positive 8. So it has to be just 32. Sometimes it's both answers. Sometimes it's just one answer. I'm going to let the calculator do this one. So I'm going to type in log base 1 divided by 3, alpha red x, plus 5, right arrow, alpha equals, -3, shift solve. They want me to guess. I'm going to guess a middle number, either 32 or 27. I'm going to shoot for 27. And it was wrong. It was 22. But notice it gives me the answer quite nicely. This one is just a straight up calculator key in. I'm going to hit the log base of 7, right arrow, fraction bar 1 over 49. It should kick out the answer. I think it's -2. And boom, pretty quick. This one, I don't have to type in. I know the 9 to the log base 9 cancels out, but I'm going to type it in just so that you're confident. So 9 to the x box, log base 9 of 2, and it should just equal 2. The pH problem. So they give you the formula for the pH right here. So this is a problem you might want to put on the note card. It's definitely going to be on the test. So all you really need to do is plug that into the pH formula. Log, and it's just log. It's not log base anything. So it's log, open parentheses, 6.7 times 10 to the -5th. Be careful when you type it in. Type it in accurately. So negative, and then just hit the log button. The log button's here, the log base button's there. I'm just going to use the log button. Log 6.7. Now, some people like to use the scientific notation button. I don't. So I'm going to do 6.7 times 10, x box, -5. You don't have to close the parentheses, but I'm going to. And that's 4.174. 4.17, so it would have to be choice D, 4.2. Another pH problem, another pH problem. And again, they give you the formula. But now, they say the pH is 1.4. They say the pH is 1.4. They want you to find the H3O, the hydrogen, I don't know what it's called. The move for this is just type in 10 to the negative 1.4. Just type that in and it'll give you the answer. 10 to the negative 1.4. You want me to round it to the nearest tenth? All right, so I moved that decimal over. So that's going to be 3.98 times 10. And I moved it over 1, 2 to the negative 2. This is a tricky problem. So when I round this to the nearest tenth, I look at that. That's 5 or above, so I give the 9 a shove. I got to give the 3 a shove. So that's going to be 4.0 times 10 to the negative 2. I wish it was a little bit more convenient than that, but it wasn't. Half-life problem. So it has a half-life of 1,500 years. How many years to the nearest year would for the isotope to decay to 70% of that amount? Ooh. My God. Okay, the half-life problem. So it says the half-life is 1,500 years. So right now, when they tell me that, I know that ln of 0.5 over 1,500 is going to equal my rate of decay. And it should be negative. It should be a negative rate. So this isn't my answer. This is just the first step. So ln of half-life, 0.5, over the amount of years will give me the rate. So the rate is, they call it K sometimes, negative 0.000462. Because notice, it's to the negative 4. So I have to move that over 1, 2, 3, and there's still a negative. So now I can beat this problem up now that I have that information. They want to know when the isotope will decay to 70%. So that's going to be 0.70 equals E to the negative 0.0000462 T. And they want to know how long, so I have to solve this for T. I can use the calculator. I'm going to use the calculator. I'm going to actually solve it. To get rid of LE, you have to ln both sides. So that's going to give me ln of 0.70 equals negative 0.000462T. ln of 0.70 divided by negative 0.000462. Fraction bar. ln 0.7 over negative 0.000462. About 772 years. That one was a challenge. This time they want me to solve for the interest rate for 5,000 compounded annually to equal that amount. So I'm going to do my A, P, R, N, T. And it gives me all the information. So the present value is 5,000 compounded annually, so N equals 1. They want it to equal $7,116.56. That's the future value after 9 years. So they give me everything but the rate. So remember, the parentheses go by the P. So 1 plus fraction bar. I know that this is 1 times 9. That's going to go up here, 9. And then I don't know what R is, but I know N is 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take their choices and I'm going to plug them into the calculator until I get $7,116.56. But be woke. That's 0.05. That's 0.03. That's 0.06. And that's 0.04. You have to put the decimal in. 5,000, open parentheses, 1 plus, fraction bar, 0.05 over 1. I really didn't need to do that. X box 9, I hope it's 7,000. No, it's 7,756. So it's got to be less than 5%. So right now, it can't be 6%. So I'm going to back arrow, delete that 0.05 and change it to 0.03. Nope, it's got to be 4%. $7,116.56. And notice I put in 0.04, so it has to be choice D.